What's going on, guys, and welcome back. Yeah, I could say back, but this is a new show. Welcome back to the You Don't Know Ball podcast. We're gonna just take it easy today, give you guys some takes, and I'm excited to get going with the new setup.
Dude, I'm ecstatic.
Feels fresh. Feels back to the freshness we had at the beginning. And I love it.
It feels great.
We're back.
Feels good,
Football's around the corner.
bro. I need it now. Like,
We're almost there. Almost there. It's like the worst part of the offseason.
I'm gonna
like you
check
can
my
feel
screen
it,
time on Sleeper, see how much
but
I
then you
just stare at
can't.
my fantasy
I
team.
think I was leading up to the football season, getting ready to draft, and now that I've drafted, it's just kind of like
It's just you're sitting
shit.
there.
I
You're
just
waiting.
gotta wait
waiting.
for the season to start.
All right.
No, and I say this in the most respectful way possible because that's the thing is I do watch preseason too, obviously, but like it's just, and I know these guys are fighting for a job, fighting for a living. I respect it, I totally do, but it's like it's just not the same from our perspective.
No.
Like we're watching it, it's
No,
just it's
no
killing
shot.
me. It's killing me because in a way it's actually much less engaging than watching college football, even because I love college football. This is way less engaging because at least at college I'm like, all right, even if it's a bad team, bad game, I got a chance to see these guys at the next level. A lot of the guys that you're playing, I got like a 5% chance to see one of these dudes at the end of the season for the like the point where after the first quarter, after the second quarter, it's like that's the point is you're halfway in the game and we're losing momentum.
Facts.
We're losing a lot of momentum after halftime. And it's just not the
I
same.
think it's nice to see the skill players play in preseason though. Like
Some open
they're-
your eyes.
if you're looking for
Isaiah
the
Likely.
receivers,
Likely, yeah.
exactly, the receivers and the running backs, I think those are guys that are pretty fun to watch because they're fighting for a roster spot, but like sometimes they're fighting to start. Like
Tajay
those guys could be
Sharp-
starting at
Yeah.
the end of the year.
No, that's
Tajay
true.
Sharp is maybe earning himself a role with the Bears. Like Likely's coming
Love to see
on.
it.
George Pickens had a good debut. There's a bunch of players out there that like making their names for themselves. So it's also cool to see.
No, hear me
that
out on this
aspect
though,
of
boys.
it.
This is facts. This is where it is too. It's where you're nervous watching it because you don't want one of your guys to get injured and you're like, oh nah. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same because that's the point too. Is you're
Yeah.
nervous. You're like, I don't
Yeah.
want he might score a raw touchdown, but
Bro,
if he
go
gets
sit
injured,
down.
this was not raw at all.
no,
It's-
but how nervous do you think Giants fans were yesterday?
I'm nervous for fans that I'm not even. That's my point. Is I was nervous for them. I'm nervous for everybody. I'm watching this shit. I'm just terrified. I'm constantly. If someone goes down, I'm like, oh nah. And that's the point. Is it's not the same in the regular season. It still sucks, but at least it's part of the regular season. Like they're getting. You know what I mean, bro? This could be the difference between getting cut for dudes, and it's like that's the point. Is they out there fighting? I guess. That's
Well,
all.
and I just want to say we had our draft on Saturday, and Mahomes and the Chiefs were playing the Commanders, and every time I watch Mahomes out there, I was like, what is he doing?
Didn't he
That's
play
so
like the entire first
I was
quarter?
like, that's so scary. Like
Yeah.
that's a horrible feeling.
And he's like running around too.
wait, stop running around. It's just
He
Trevor
wasn't like
Lawrence?
he wasn't running downfield, but he was extending plays, like
Yeah.
going out, escaping to the left, and just chucking a
I
sidearm.
respect
Like,
the hell out of that.
I
Yeah.
do too, but damn, I don't even.
Too many QBs
I don't
are
have
doing
him
it. I
anymore,
can name
so I
like
don't really
five
care, to be
Yeah.
honest.
that I've seen with extend a play way too far, and I'm like, there's no point right now. Just like literally throw it in the dirt. Like there's
Right,
like
right,
this play will never be remembered. Like
right.
just stay safe.
All right, I got one that'll maybe puzzle up your brain a little bit. Who is this year's Bengals? I'm not talking like, worst to first or like worst to Super Bowl. I'm like talking about a team that's just like under the radar, just sitting there. And
Not getting enough love.
no one's talking about them. And I'm going to go first and just get mine out of the way. It's the Colts. I mean, Matt Ryan, I think he still can play at a high level. I know he's getting up there in age. Offensive line is great. Jonathan Taylor's great. I think Michael Pittman comes on strong. Alec Pierce is an underrated receiver that I think is not getting enough love. I think he's going to show that a little bit more. And it's Frank Reich. He can cook. He was kind of cooking with Wentz, and Wentz didn't play that great. So it's like, if you can just be that much better than Wentz was, you can go a little bit farther, and you have that, you can lean on Jonathan Taylor so much. So it's like, I think the Colts could make that like kind of.
I was talking about this yesterday, and really when I think about it, when Matt Ryan has had a good coach or offensive coordinator, he's been an MVP.
Shout out Kyle.
When he's had a good coach or MVP or coordinator, he's been an MVP. And he hasn't had that for the last like 4 or 5 years in Atlanta. Like they've been dog shit. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They've been dog shit, and he still floats them around like 5 or 6 wins every year. He finally has a good coach, good offensive line. Like, could be maybe dark
Could be.
horse.
No one talks about them. You talk about the big dogs because
No.
like that's who you want to talk about.
It's a
But you gotta
very
look at
real
everything
point
else.
where they're literally favored to win their division, and no one talks about them at all. And it makes no sense.
I mean, honestly, I would probably prefer that if I was like a fan or something. Like even
I
then,
agree.
'cause it's like,
Yeah.
keep talking about whoever you want,
Bro,
but
grind in
when you
your
gotta play
silence.
us,
No one's going to expect it, and you come out on top. Not to mention, all you have to do really is not all you have to do, but get to the playoffs and see what happens. Bro, their division sucks.
not
And the
very
Titans
good.
are
That's a
not
fact.
the Titans are not looking like a contender for that division, in my opinion, personally. They could win it, sure. They could fuck around and win it. They got Derrick Henry and stuff. But like, to me, they had so much hype last year. They disappointed kind of, and it's just like not
I mean,
the same.
I
But
do,
let me counter this. Well, I need to counter this real quick though. I'm not. This is not that I disagree. I do agree the Colts are going to be good. I do think they're being slept on. Here's just my issue with them per se going all the way. You feel me? My thing is, number one, Matt Ryan's arm strength. Are we still super confident that it's going to be Shanny Day? I mean, I feel like seeing the decline year by year. It's not like it's drastic, but I feel like you're limiting the play call year by year. He's getting up there a little bit more and more, and the mobility is obviously going down year by year. Look, I'm confident in their O-line, but moreover than just that, it's like you said in the Titans too. That's the thing is, I think a lot of people maybe are sleeping. It's the thing where we
That's true.
we have expectations.
That could
where,
be true.
Oh, the Titans done the same thing for a while now. They've had the really good regular season, and then they fold in the postseason, right? But what if this is the year that doesn't? Because that's the thing is, I think Vrabel is a really good coach. The Titans have been putting together a really good product year after year. They just aren't making it click when it matters. But look, like to your point, they're getting there, and once you get there, all you need to do is go on a roll. Look, we know the Titans already are in position.
Can I throw a hot take?
I want to hear the hot take.
And it's not really a hot take. It's more of a comparison. So a lot of people were talking about the 49ers and Jimmy G could only get them so far, right? To me, that's Tannehill. He gets them so far. And at some point, they're going to have to address it where they're going to need a quarterback that can take them over the top.
At some point, you're going to need a quarterback to make every single throw at
And
one point. And
that's just how I see it.
And that's just
That
not
boy
Tannehill.
Malik
Oh, wait a
Willis has
minute.
been.
So I couldn't say that about
That's a
the
good point.
Colts.
No, you could, yeah.
That's what. See,
But
this is
I
where
would
I feel like
argue-
the Colts and the Titans are very similar. Actually, that's kind of like what I'm going
I would
for.
argue, though,
is
that
in a way they're really just now incredibly similar.
would
Matt
argue-
Ryan's been there though.
I think
They
Matt,
both have great running
but
backs.
I think
they
Matt
rely
Ryan's
on the run.
a lot better than Phillip Rivers, as old as he was that year, and Carson Wentz. I think it's like a lot better.
No, I agree. But Tannehill has had really good seasons. But that's the thing is they both need the run to succeed at the end of the day. Both offenses.
But I
they're
think-
actually
why are they built the
they're
same
way
way?
more
But
similar.
I think-
Why are they built the same
way more
way?
similar than they are different.
But here's the
so
thing.
like,
It's like,
are they low-key just copying each other? Are they just trolling us?
Right?
I think they're just trolling the league. They're just like, let's just be as similar to each other as possible.
but I think the Colts can rely on the pass game a lot more, actually, because like those receivers are a little better. Like Traylon Burks, no one knows anything about him so far.
excited, bro.
I mean, in the first preseason game, he was playing with the fourth stringers and playing at the end of the game.
I
It's
think-
kind of he was just like running routes out there.
I think Robert Woods is going to ball.
I mean, yeah, but that's
Facts.
that's where I was going next. Robert Woods coming off an ACL.
It's scary.
Is
but
that going to be your wide receiver one? If
I
Traylon doesn't-
think he will be the leader in yards.
Yeah, I mean, probably right, but it's like, is that guy like, oh, we got to pay attention to him, or what do we?
But
I don't know.
I think plot twist, he's the best run blocker in the league at the moment, or one of easily. And
Robert
that's
Woods.
the biggest reason they brought. I mean, and it's
Yeah.
just low key note. They were like, look, yeah, like the point. They're like, we're gonna bring someone who's gonna
We're-
give their all on every single pass or rush blocking snap, and just gonna give his all for Derrick Henry, and they're gonna reward him for that. I think it's going to be like a give and take system where if he stays healthy, that's the main thing. If he can stay healthy, I think he can put up 1,100 easily. Like I think he can go crazy. It's just a more matter of staying healthy.
No, that's facts. All right, I'm going to toss mine out there. This is a little bit of a stretch. I don't really believe in it a whole lot because we were looking at the teams and it's like none of these like really have the same feel to it. Like they could really snap like that. But I'm going to go with the Vikings. From everything I've heard, it looks and sounds very exciting for the Vikings offense. And I think their defense might be a little bit underrated. So like, do I really believe they'll go to the Super Bowl? No, but could they surprise a lot of people and kind of snap this year? I think absolutely.
I think what their problem always was, I'm a very big pass first, pass early, pass often guy. They first two downs, they're handing it off to Cook every time. And I think O'Connell coming in and changing that up, I think he's going to get the guys the ball in space a lot more. They're going to pass a lot more in early downs. I think that's going to help Kirk out more than anybody else. So if you were to pick a dark horse team that the quarterback's going to be better than he was last year, that's probably going to be Kirk Cousins this year.
No, definitely. And we've been talking about this too behind the scenes, but look, obviously teams are going to have a lot more time to digest the film this offseason. It's going to not be as easy for Jay Jettis to go and have the same success that the last year that Cooper Kupp had. It's going to be really hard to touch. But we know he's going to be playing a very similar role. He's going to run the same routes. Obviously, there's going to be different variations. And, Kevin O'Connell's going to come prepared. But my point is we're going to see him in that same role. And that's exciting. I mean, if he was already going crazy, to your point, in this run-first offense, well, now they're just going to unleash him. And there's no limit for Jay Jettis, honestly, now. Like, not even if there was before. But
let Kirk Cousins cook.
And it's like,
let Kirk cook.
And the
let
thing
him
is,
cook.
What a plot twist.
Adam Thielen, if he can be just like somewhat,
I think he's going to be
somewhat
fine,
there,
too.
He's going to be raw.
just somewhat
Like,
there.
it's-
Quote it.
Take some pressure off of Jefferson. It's like, you got to worry about that guy over
I
there.
also think KJ Osborne is low key. He's
Underrated.
He's underrated.
How
That's what I was
underrated?
gonna say. He's nothing crazy, but I think he's definitely underrated.
Definitely
He's
could
like
take the
he's
top
tall.
off.
Yeah,
He's big
right.
body.
So it's like,
Jump. He's definitely a jump ball threat. Like he gives them something more unique to them. Like I think honestly, I talk about a slept on player. The Vikings have a lot of Adam Thielen
I was
gets
gonna
slept on.
say,
It's just.
I was gonna say Herb Smith.
Hell yeah.
Bro, this man just needs to stay on the field, and I
Yeah.
feel like he could be good.
I haven't heard about anything about him, and
It's
since
been
he's drafted,
potential.
man, it's like,
Right.
Potentially the best fantasy sleeper ever.
Yeah, but
relax
at this
over there.
point,
Yeah, tight end one.
Tight end one.
You're
For
spitting,
some
bro.
people.
Didn't he just have like his thumb get hurt or something?
Yeah, he's doing something.
That's
with
Are you
his
just-
thumb.
serious?
That's just
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah,
I think
this is
he
getting to the
just
point.
got thumb surgery,
I feel
but
like-
he's supposed to play week
But I
one.
feel like that tight end spot in Minnesota's just like kind of always been there. I mean,
Yeah,
Rudolph
true.
was-
Rudolph's just
Okay.
always been there.
He's just always been there. It's like, all
All
right.
right,
you're
last
gonna
thing in the
deal with this guy.
Vikings. What is a reasonable prediction for Jetta's yards?
15.
I was gonna
16.
say 6, because what he's
15
gone
or
he's gone
16?
14 and then 15, I think, in his 2 years.
It's like
I
15
think
or 1600.
1600 this year.
I think he has to improve.
I think 1600 is reasonable. But first year in the offense,
He's
maybe
playing,
something to
He's
consider.
playing the Cooper Cup role. He's going for 2K. Okay.
Damn.
He's better than
I hope he
than
does.
Cooper Cup. He's playing the Cooper Cup role. Stafford is just a southern Kirk Cousins now, living in LA. They're the same quarterback. There's
I'm
a better
sorry.
receiver there.
I'm sorry.
Connor's looking
Jefferson's
into the camera
going for
and
2K.
saying
I'm
this
sorry.
with
I'm
conviction.
sorry. Like, yeah, Jettis is good, but
2K.
you can't talk about like Cup. Man, no one can touch that season he just had.
I mean,
So relax.
Jefferson can.
No one can do. Let me see.
I'm
it.
confused
Dom,
by
tell him.
it.
Dom,
Oh,
tell him.
I'm blown away by a
Dom,
lot
let
of
him
things
know.
at once.
Let me see it first.
I do think
You saw him
Jettis
go crazy.
I
I
do
did,
think
but-
Jettis is
What? Cup? That's the greatest receiver season.
All right, we
we've
gotta talk about something real quick then too. Is it the greatest?
had. What's better?
Probably.
I think it is. It has
What?
to be, right?
The Super Bowl was him. After OBJ went out, they knew who was getting the ball.
would have been cooler if he didn't cook Eli Apple, but like, I guess.
But like,
Game winning touchdown on Eli Apple too,
They're like,
right?
oh, what a lame
the
highlight.
Super Bowl was insane.
Remember when
It
he was talking
him.
all big?
Don't remind me about those days.
Yeah,
Eli Apple was talking big.
respect-
New
I
Orleans will
respect
always
Eli.
remember.
Ohio
We'll
State
always
boy?
remember.
I have to respect Eli. I don't ever disrespect him. I respect him and who he is as a player. He came
Oh
from
my
Ohio
gosh,
State.
bro.
No, I was
That
happy
shit
with
was
him
so
until the
funny.
New Orleans comments, bro. It was only like
Yeah, that was-
that's when it was fine. It was all
That was
cool.
cheap.
Like
That
I
was
wanted
cheap.
him. I was wanted his success just as much until the
Facts.
downfall.
Yeah,
Dubs.
he did kind of go overboard with that one.
Who is your sleeper team this year?
This not to say this pains me to say, but just because I was really negative on them last year. They surprised me, and now I'm making the switch up where I'm going to hop on the train. I hope it's not too late. But man, the Philly train out of the Eagles. I look, because this was the thing where, and I'm honest, man. You guys know I admit my flaws. Yes, I think he looks good too. But when the draft was happening at first, I was like more on the Devontae Wyatt train than Jordan Davis because at the very beginning of the process, I was like, no, because he's a much better pass rusher and I think he'll develop quicker. Yeah. But I'm seeing now the colors were. I love Jordan Davis' personality. I think he'd be a real good leader.
He's gonna
I
be
think
so
the Eagles
good.
are surrounded with a bunch of already good leaders. I think Jalen Hurts is a leader. I think he's about to take a big step this year, and I think Nick Sirianni actually seems kind of like he has the squad rolling. Like really weird. Never thought I would say that because when Nick Sirianni got hired, everyone. I mean, that's the thing.
Everyone
is
was
he's-
just like,
but
what
he's-
the fuck?
He's proving it. So a lot of times the best coaches, we're looking at him, and same thing with Staley. When Staley got hired, we were like, what? But that not that Staley's still in that middle ground, but he at least surprised us in ways we didn't think he would. Where I think it's. I'm not judging the bottom of the line. We're not judging a cook. I said a cook. We're not judging a coach on his looks. We're not. That's the thing. Where I'm going with this is at this point the Eagles. I'm in. I don't know what else to say. They surprised me, I'm rolling with the train.
I mean, I hate the Eagles simply just because I got a buddy who's
Sounds like a lot of
Eagles
bias.
fan, but
Whoa.
it's
No,
like
hate the Eagles?
It specifically stems from Alex Icino.
yeah, just a friend. So it's like that. I mean, I watched football with him for 3 years straight, and it was always the Eagles on. So it's like whatever. But anyways, get to the point. I agree. That roster is win now, win now, win now.
Go get Kareem.
It kind of is, and it's just like I mean, yeah, the running backs are kind of there, but like that's not. I know they ran a lot last year, but I mean, they didn't trade AJ Brown just to run the ball. They're gonna pass it a lot, I think, and it all comes down to just like it is for every other team. It's the quarterback. He's got it. Hurts has got to show it. This is it. Like it's on you, and I hate to say like there is a bunch of pressure. They went out and traded for AJ Brown, all that stuff. So it's like, hey man, we got you what you needed. You got to help us out and win some football games. It's on Hurts. Everything else looks great. I could see it.
I've heard glowing reviews of Hurts.
Hurts
this
is
preseason.
awesome. I've been on him ever since Oklahoma.
Every practice scrimmage game, he's going 5 for 5 with a touchdown every drive. AJ Brown is going to be hella nice. I think AJ Brown is probably one of the most underrated superstar receivers in the league right now. I mean, the yard after catch like ability that he has
Yeah,
is
he
just
is a freak with that.
unparalleled.
He's a
like,
yak king.
He makes one tackle break and he's going for a tutty every time.
Hashtag
And-
put AJ Brown in the Debo role.
Bro, no, they're the
Shit,
same
he can do it.
prototype. They're dead ass the same
That's what I'm
prototype.
thinking while you're saying. I'm like, the only person who could touch him is Debo. But yeah, like let's put him.
All
in
right.
that, let's
I
just put
think
him in the
AJ
same
Brown's a
package.
better contested catcher than Debo.
He is 100%.
No, they need to put this. They need
Yeah.
to put him in the Debo package immediately. That's the.
I'd say Debo. I mean, AJ Brown's a little bit better of a receiver, but they have damn near the same yak ability, run after catch ability. And I will say this: I low key love Jalen Hurts. I don't know why. I did used to like Oklahoma. There's a fun offense to watch, but the reason why Jalen Hurts will succeed is because he's such a good leader. And he's getting better as a player and making those passes and making the reads and whatnot. He's a great runner at the quarterback position too. But the number one reason why he will succeed is because he's a great leader. And that's been uncontested throughout his entire time playing college football and in the NFL. So I think
mean,
that's
it does help. Like if I feel like if you know you're a leader, it also helps with your confidence.
no
'Cause it's like-
100%.
It's like I'm the top dog here, and then like he knows that. Obviously, he feels that he's the top dog, and he is. But it's like I'm the leader of the team. I talk to the team. Like and then
Yeah.
it's like all right,
And
I got to do this now.
I
Like,
think
it's
that's
my
his number
confidence.
one
yeah.
best
He's got it up
attribute.
there.
And you've been pretty critical of him, and I think that's reasonable. He
Yeah,
hasn't.
it's just
It's very
The
reasonable.
arm doesn't like blow me away as you watch some of these other guys, and that's the biggest thing. Like it's not like it's the arm strength, it's the accuracy. It's like that obviously can improve. You can get stronger. You know, you can pinpoint your passes a little more, but that's just the thing that's always kind of scared me off him. And if he can improve on that, I mean, whew,
Well, I think that's. I think.
sky's the limit,
I think
'cause
it
that
is
team
very
is
fair.
crazy.
But like, I don't even know if he'll ever be like that. I just think he's such a good person and leader that the Eagles will win a lot of games because of his leading ability.
and I, feel
I
like-
just
and
believe
it's
that.
just like it comes down to like, is he gonna make a play?
yeah.
Probably, like with his feet or like something out of the pocket. Like is he gonna make a
Actually,
play?
I have a question for y'all because I've been thinking about this a lot. I think Hurts right now this season, I think he's going to show that he might be a better passer than Lamar. How close is the
Interesting.
rushing ability from Hurts to Lamar? Because you see Hurts make some crazy ass cuts. He puts people like he breaks their ankles and stuff. And he's kind of he's swole too. Lamar's bigger now, but
yeah, Hurts is like a stocky.
how close is that rushing ability from Hurts to Lamar? I think it's closer than most people see.
Well, here's what I'll say. I think Lamar's probably the hardest guy to tackle in the league right now. So I think Jalen Hurts is though, but that's the thing is Jalen Hurts doesn't even need to be Lamar. But he just needs to give us even a fraction of that and really tune up the accuracy this year because he's shown us flashes where I'll see him go hash to hash. And I'm like, all right, that's a really good. Like he's shown a lot at this 4 years. That's where you see more and more each week. Whereas if you were a doubter like myself, you're like, oh no, my doubting was wrong. That's why I'm in on the Eagles now. And to your point about the leadership, Dylan, like he has multiple future Hall of Fame Super Bowl champion linemen backing him like consistently, which I feel like doesn't happen a lot if they're not all in on the quarterback. Like nobody's going to be calling him a leader. No, like it would just kind of be going through the motions. Like, well, we're putting, they answer these questions with like we said earlier, with conviction. They believe in him. Like they believe that's their guy.
Yeah. And the only thing I would say is Hurts to me is more of like a straight line runner where he can be elusive and whatnot. I just think Lamar is like in the class of his own.
like
You know what I'm saying?
how close is it? How close?
I think it's closer than
Honestly,
people think, but
I
I,
don't
just
think
think it's like
I think-
Dobbs said.
I don't know if it's.
Bro,
that close.
he's one of the people think, but
I
like
think-
Dobbs said,
I don't know if it's.
bro,
that close.
he's one of like
Because I don't think
the hardest
anybody's
people
even.
to
I really
tackle.
don't think anybody's close to Lamar in terms of like his athleticism.
he's literally
See, like-
on some Mike Vick status
So the
stuff.
thing I want to,
I really don't even know if.
I would say like, yeah, it's close, but then I'm just like pondering, and then I just think about the time Lamar. Everyone knows the play. He spun off
The
spun
Bengals
3
one?
guys, yeah, in the Bengals game.
Yeah, that
And then
was
it's just
crazy.
like in your head, and you're like, damn, he's like that. Like with this, it's like, woo, like, he like it was in full stride, just went off on his own. So it's like,
I'm showing Calvin this.
No, that's
Yeah,
what it,
he's
that's
gonna
what it is
enjoy
with
it.
Lamar. That's actually the difference, Connor. That I figured out. That's the difference. Jalen Hurts is definitely going to be very likely to get past even one defender in front of him. I feel like with Lamar though, he's incredibly likely to get past the 1, and he's also likely to get past 2 and 3. You know what I mean? Whereas with Jalen, you're like
That's what
you
I
get
meant
past
by
the-
like
that
straight line
first
runner.
layer. Yeah, exactly. He's going to get past that first layer probably, but I don't know how many layers he's going to get past that layer.
The more you guys say that, the more that reminds me of like Lamar can break off plays and he can shift people like a receiver almost, in the fact that he can fucking take it to the house. Jalen Hurts is more of like a running back when he runs.
That's
like,
what that
a
is
little
with
bit
it, yeah.
bruisier, a little bit. He might not
he'll
break
take
it.
a couple hits.
He
No,
might
that's
not
what
break
I'm
Almost
saying,
it.
yeah.
concerned
I think he
sometimes with
can-
the type of hits he'll take.
Yeah.
He's low-key swole
He's a
too.
bruiser.
He's
bruiser
a big
quarterback.
boy, yeah.
That is no. I mean, like that is incredibly accurate though.
All right, Connor, who you rocking with?
My team for this year, to make a Bengals type leap, just from being sort of disrespected to somewhat of a Super Bowl contention. My team's the Miami Dolphins, and I got a couple reasons for you why.
Oh my god, I love it.
I got a couple reasons for you why.
This is incredible.
For a team to really take a big leap like that, you got to have a couple things. You got to have a fantastic coach. Mike McDaniel has not yet coached an NFL game, but we are on the train early and we're going to stay on it for a very long time.
sir.
You
I'm
heard
on
it
the
here
train.
first. You heard it here first.
You mean Connor have been on the train?
Next thing you need some good weapons. And I swear to God, I think Waddle and Hill will both be top 10 in receiving yards this year.
Wow.
And that is mostly, it's going to come from Yak. I'm going to tell you
Both of
that
them?
right now. Both of them are going to be top 10 in receiving yards
Man,
this year.
he's sick.
It's
I
gonna
gotta see where
come
that
from
puts them
the
yard
yak.
wise.
And this is why I think the Dolphins as a team will be that good, is because when you look at the 49ers and the Dolphins, they're very similar. The Dolphins might not have nearly as much talent, but their receiving weapons are both crazy in their own rights. I think the Dolphins have the 2 speediest receivers in the league. 49ers might have some bruisers and, a little bit bigger guys, but I think the advantage that both those teams have are both comparably amazing. And if Jimmy G can freaking take the 49ers to almost a Super Bowl, why can't Tua do it with
No.
comparably
No.
similar offensive skill weapons? And offenses rule, I'll tell you that right now. Tyler, you can say what you want to say. I'm pretty much done.
too good.
No. And I'm gonna keep saying no until I see it.
Can you give me a reason? Can you give me something factual that I
Maybe
can go
the-
off of?
Maybe something that you could just like look at when you watch the Dolphins play. Maybe the person who touches the ball every second of the game, the quarterback. Like, well, what has he shown me? What has he shown me?
He's shown me that the offensive line has been atrocious for 2 years. That's what
At
he
some
showed me.
point, at some point, you got to make some throws. Like, ooh,
Counterpoint.
maybe that's there.
At some point,
But
that's just not his game.
Making
It's
throws.
never been his game.
Making throws.
It's never been his game to roll out of the pocket and hit somebody 40 yards downfield. That's never been his
I
game.
never saw rollouts from him. I never did it in Miami last year.
Exactly.
I'm talking about like just I don't know. I don't see it. And at the Saints game last year, the Monday night that was horrible. It was like Ian Book and him and whoever else was playing.
Don't remind me about
He
that one.
stared 2 down like linebackers.
Saints quarterbacks last year was
Oh.
Stared
hysterical.
both of them. Like it's
Tough.
just like
Oh, you're talking about the game where the Saints had one of the best defenses in the league and the Dolphins had the worst offensive line in the league.
Bro,
He knows
I
ball.
wonder what's going to happen.
He
I
knows
wonder what's going to
ball.
happen in that.
bro. But you staring down 2 guys and then an open receiver like 5 yards behind, and it doesn't even come close. Like that's just
What
like
is he going to do? If that's his read and he's going to get hit in 2 seconds, I'm going to
it
stare that
was
guy down
open.
too.
I can pull up the clip. I remember
That's
this.
one play.
Like, but that just also shows a glimpse of like that's just bonehead, and there's so many of them. Like I don't know. I gotta see it. Like your team
tell you
goes
right
as far as
now-
your quarterback goes, and that's the bottom line of the NFL.
No, they don't, because Jimmy G is not a top 10 quarterback, but he was the 4th best team in the league last year.
Okay, that goes back to Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel.
And Mike McDaniel.
You don't know anything about him. He could just come out and flat out suck.
No.
And then what?
I will not. I can't
That's
take
not-
it.
Yeah, you can't believe
No, that's
that.
not true. Mike
No.
McDaniel's way too cool to come out the gate.
Way
and
too
suck.
cool.
He is too
That
cool,
doesn't
Tyler.
happen.
Come
Way
on.
too cool.
He's too cool.
Rookie mistake.
I think
Rookie
I'm-
mistake.
I
So
think
when
I'm
does-
convincing two riders and a hater right here.
So
Look
when
at
does
this-
I mean,
Look at
I'm
this
in the middle.
hater.
I'm in the middle.
When
Can
does-
I
wait,
get mine?
When
Can I
does-
get mine?
No.
Certified hater.
When does a cool factor come into being a great coach?
All the
That's-
time.
All the
Never.
time.
No, actually,
Hard
Cliff.
knock. Belichick
Cliff-
is raw as fuck.
Cliff
What do you,
cool.
what do you
Cliff
mean?
cool,
I'm
but-
linking up with Belichick any day.
Cliff
It's
cool,
my
but not
dog,
raw
bro.
coach.
Belichick.
Cliff cool, but not a raw
Belichick.
coach.
Tomlin cool as
Did
fuck.
us three
Okay,
adore Nagy? Oh.
No, Nagy was a
really-
dork.
No, he wasn't.
Hell
He
no,
was
Nagy
We're
was
not
a
getting
dork.
on that.
no,
Why
we're
bring
not
that
doing that.
up?
We're not doing that.
No, no,
All
I'm
right,
not.
all right.
Hell
All right, hold
no.
on. Can I just say something?
Club dumb?
He was in the press
That's
conferences
cool.
lying to y'all.
Can I?
That was
Oh my
after the
god,
fact.
he was in that bitch just gassing y'all up, just
No,
gassing y'all up.
that's-
We're team ready.
That's
We're ready.
after the first
Clown.
season.
He was
Why-
wrong.
Let's
Clown.
not talk about Nagy.
Certified
All right,
clown.
I don't want to talk about
all right,
Nagy.
let me give my 2 cents real quick, and then Dobbs can too. I think
This topic has got us heated. We're back to
Kyle
Nagy.
Shanahan, if Mike McDaniels is truly a Kyle Shanahan disciple, and not even if he comes close to being just like him, even if he's a little bit like Kyle Shanahan and excels in his offense, that offense is so quarterback friendly. It hides the quarterback. I don't even know if it's really a testament to Tua, whereas Tua really just has to hit underneath passes, make the right reads, and maybe how many deep shots did Jimmy G hit?
Like when Debo had like 15 yards of separation from everyone.
I just
around
think
him.
it's like that's the only reason why I think they
They
could.
tried to dial up
but
a
I
couple of
agree.
games, but Jimmy G
Tua-
may or not gotten them.
To me right now,
Who
Tua's in
knows?
the same boat where it's like you don't know if he can take you over the hill, and we're not talking about winning a Super Bowl necessarily. So that's why I'm going to agree. But if we're talking about a Super Bowl, I don't know. Tua scares me still, but I don't even think Tua needs to do a lot for the Dolphins to be good. That's my stance.
But like this is the thing. The defense is so hit or miss week to week, and that is a real thing. That's still
fair.
my concern.
Mm.
I feel like they haven't made a huge
Okay, so-
jump on defense yet, where I'm ready to be like, okay, because that is really the difference between how I view like the Patriots and the Bills in that division, and you know what I mean, like that versus them right now. I was like, I do have a lot of confidence in those two defenses versus
And like
Miami's. Okay.
like week to week because
Brian Flores, was he not 90% of the reason that defense was sick?
I mean, they're keeping the same defensive coordinator. I don't know how much that's
But
going to
he
mean.
probably
That's
had
interesting that they did that.
90% of,
Usually they don't do
I know,
that.
but Brian Flores has probably a good chunk of what was going
I
on
agree.
defense on that
I
side.
agree.
Yeah.
I'll give
Um,
him his
defensive-
flowers.
He's a defensive minded guy.
Absolutely.
So it's like, and like, can Mike get him to rally around him? Like Brian,
Hell yeah.
like that stuff that came out.
I
They
think
told
he
him to
can.
lose
Mike is
games,
so
and he was just
cool.
like, no, I'm not gonna lose.
Mike is
anything."
like a cool nerd.
Mike's the coolest nerd.
But he
Dude, you see
definitely-
all the clips about Mike McDaniel, and the players love him. They're so sad to lose him in San Francisco, bro.
Bro, he's such a unique person.
No, I really
He
hope the
is.
Dolphins are good. Like this better not be like a bad opportunity.
he's got the Dan Campbell thing where he's just himself all the time, never wavering. I'm gonna be Mike McDaniel from sun up to sundown. So is Dan Campbell. They're the same way. They just drip different, and he's in Miami.
Can you
He's
like
in
Mike
Miami.
McDaniels but hate Tua?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool.
It's 100%.
I just want to make sure.
Okay,
You got to see it. I got to see. it.
we'll sign like a we'll come to like a what do they call that? What is it? They sign an agreement. They're like, oh, we're at peace now.
A peace treaty?
Yeah, peace treaty. Yeah, we're gonna sign a peace treaty on the Dolphins.
All right, guys. So I have to change gears a little bit because this has to happen sometime soon. And I'm talking about the days when Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Big Ben were all going fucking crazy. And now we have a new slate of quarterbacks. Mahomes, Allen, Herbert. Sorry, I
Don't
blanked
forget about
on-
Joey
blanked on
B.
your guy. Joey B even, bro. It has to happen where these quarterbacks fucking ball. Like they go stupid all year long. So I want to know what's the realistic chance that Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, maybe Burrow, at least two of them go for 40 plus this year.
I'm gonna go last.
I was going to go
on purpose.
all three of them go for it, but after some quick research, that has never happened where three quarterbacks throw 40 touchdowns. So
I'm gonna say on a scale of 1 to 100% chance, I'll probably give it like a 70,
It just has
65.
It's more than likely to happen.
Like because like if you look
that's
at
a little
these
high.
three, if you look at these
They're
three,
crazy.
they're generational. Generational. Look at the arms. Look at the throws they make. Those are generational talents. And if I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm throwing the ball every damn time I get. I don't care. I know Eckler's there, and but I could throw him the ball too because he can scoot out of the backfield.
That's what he's good at.
That's what he's awesome at. So it's like I think they could because they're just gunslingers. At the end of the day, what are those three? Slinging the ball around the field, making plays. I think it's got to happen sooner or later.
That's what I'm saying.
These guys are too good not to have 40 touchdowns. I mean, Herbert had 38 last year. I can't speak of.
Mahomes had like 37, 38.
Yeah, it's right around that.
They're both 2 or
And
3
Allen
off.
was probably in the high 30s, mid 30s, or something like that. But it's like
Was Brady the only to get 40 last year? I think so.
Rodgers.
Yeah, a very odd year last year.
Oh, did
Honestly, as far
Rodgers
as
hit
all
it?
that went, like
He
it
might
was,
have.
it was a weird offensive year last year.
See?
Oh, 2 1 for 40 last year.
See?
It was
So-
Brady and Stafford, 43 and 41.
Is that counting the playoff games?
I don't
think so.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Kind of, it's good to ask that though, because a lot of it's a good point where
Statistics
a lot
will.
of where they do
See,
it.
because they're
carry
all
over.
in
They
that
don't even tell you,
range.
and you don't even tell you where to separate it.
Herbert, 38. Mahomes, 37. Allen, 36. Bro, there were a ton of people with high 30s. Holy shit.
I think.
Who says they can't score a couple more touchdowns?
Okay.
I think I'm going to take the other side of this. I think for that to happen, so many things need to go right. And over the course of an NFL season, shit hits the fan. Week 1, week 2, like nothing goes to plan. And for me, it's like I think some of these teams now are getting built to be a little bit more balanced, even though I'm always pass early, pass often. But like Joe Burrow, like Zach Taylor loves to give the ball to Mixon. Like Mixon's going to get his work no matter what. Do I think Joe Burrow could throw for 40 touchdowns? Absolutely. Is it going to happen though? I don't see them straying away from the Mixon.
Mixon had 13 touchdowns last year.
They're the old
All right.
Vikings 1-2.
Can I change it?
Yeah.
Out of whoever really you want to say, but who do you think will be the next quarterback to throw for 50 touchdowns?
That's very tough.
I want to say Josh Allen,
See,
but
we have
he's
to
going to
ask
run
ourselves,
for 12.
Who's
10,
going to have the
maybe.
bad
That's-
defense? That's what's
Yeah,
it's going
that's
to be.
low-key a fact.
Who's going to have the worst
How many
defense?
rushing
And
touchdowns
that's what we have to
Josh
ask
Allen
ourselves.
If I was to put my money on it, I'd probably see Derek Carr.
Wow.
He's going to have to throw a lot.
McDaniels.
No,
sure
Jacobs.
loves to.
McDaniels likes to
Good
throw.
toss.
This goes back to the defensive point too. The Raiders are going to have a substantially this was going to to your point, Connor, of everything how things change, fluctuate. Like everyone has to stay healthy, and there's most likely you're going to have a very healthy receiving core for that to
Right.
happen. You're going to have to be trying to come back most likely because why would you throw for 5 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns consistently in a game if your defense was struggling? You'd be keeping it on the ground. You don't need to. You need to throw 2-3 a game. Don't throw an interception and throw 283 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like you're perfect. Your defense is playing good, which we're assuming for these teams likely. And it's I guess at that point I'm going to say or Mahomes. I mean like Mahomes again. I mean Mahomes will do it again probably
I'm gonna be
before anyone
honest.
else because if we look at the Chiefs defense and then I don't
It's
know.
either-
I feel
I
like
was going to say
it's a defensive
it
thing.
should
like,
be it is a defensive thing too because say the Chiefs really aren't that great this year and they're behind in games, Mahomes will throw it literally 40 to 50 times a game almost.
Well, yeah,
And-
if they're on the field a lot and
With
they're
Drew-
trying to catch up.
with Drew Brees, as I'll say as a Saints fan, all of Drew's best years statistically, we were so bad on defense playing catch up constantly. And he was good enough that he was able to keep us in games where it's like 49-42. Oh, we lost that one. But that's the point is like
That's a
those
really good
games where you're
point.
throwing that much, you're not like there's no incentive to throw when you already have 21. Like,
Yeah,
it's
you're
not
right.
a throw a touchdown. At least you're trying to keep it in play, inbounds, chew the hell up the clock. And that's where I think a lot of they're going to be so good, these teams. I think that that's what I think it comes down to more than anything like to Connor's point. I think that it's almost like these quarterbacks are in almost the situations are so good around them. They don't think they're going to all need to do that.
I just got 2 quick things. Off the defensive point, I mean, the Chiefs and the Raiders obviously have the weaker defenses of the 4 that we named that
Right.
we're on right now. I mean, the Chiefs lost Matthew, and yes, the Raiders gained Chandler Jones, but outside of the pass rushers, not really much going on in Las Vegas. So it's like, yeah, that is true. And then also another thing you said is like, how often are they going to pass late in games? I watched all of Herbert's games last year, not only because I like him and because he was my fantasy quarterback, but I'd be surprised sometimes. They would be up by like 14 and they're throwing the ball down the field. I'm like, okay, cool to me because I got him in fantasy, but it's like
Staley really hits on that
He doesn't
pass
care.
early, pass often. Like he's all
I feel like that's
analytical.
not a good
and he
thing to
doesn't.
do, though.
But the thing is, he doesn't care. Like
I think it just depends on the situation.
look at his fourth down
Yeah.
rate.
Go
whatever.
for it every time.
He goes for it all the time
Every time.
I
because
think-
he can't. It's like because he's got the ability. I don't know why teams don't do that more often. You get more.
All
of a
right.
I think
chance.
if you really have that much confidence in your quarterback, I think you can pretty much get almost every fourth down.
right.
if you go for
it's
it-
4th and manageable, like 4th and 5 or so.
Or be like, make a majority of it. Like, what's the
Right. Yeah.
what's the average conversion rate? Like close to 50% on fourth down.
Probably
Something like
to
that. But I know
nowadays I'd say it's probably even a little higher.
I
it might
think
be
so,
like
too.
54.6. I think it's somewhere right around there.
Mid-
Because I saw
mid-50s?
it the other day on a broadcast. I don't remember which, but I did see. They
Yeah.
actually talked about it. I feel like it was somewhere right around that line.
All right. So let's go with our answers then, just to clarify, because there was a lot of conversation. I was kinda confused.
So you changed the question to who do you trust more to throw 50 next?
Who's gonna get 50 next?
I'm going Mahomes, no doubt.
I'm gonna go Mahomes too, obviously. And I think that was a great point with the defense too.
And also because this final point, I'm sorry, I have to throw this in here, else I'm not gonna get out. Because you wouldn't think it, but last year the NFL had the lowest ever average points per game, or at least in a certain era, where teams only averaged 23 points. And it's a thing too, with the COVID affecting it. I get it. Certain things are being
Wow.
affected. A part of that, but so there's many generational players are coming in on offense. There's a ton of generational guys coming in on defense too. I think we have to look at it from that perspective. Also, it's interesting.
Do you
I don't
have
know.
it pulled up? Can you see the other years?
It said it, and so the previous record actually, I think, because I think this is the thing where people would say though, COVID had a lot to do with it because then the year before that was the previous record where it was 24.8.
But I'm saying, can you look at other years? Like, can you see like the last 10?
Let's see.
Because I'm just curious. Like,
I don't know if this chart, because this is one of those things where it just gives you like that answer right off. Let's see if
Right.
it'll take me like a chart or something.
I would just give my answer. Well, I'm just scrolling. Pretty obvious. I go with Herbert.
Herbert. So this is turning into a favorites thing
Essentially, if you
for me and you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Tua's gonna do it.
God damn it.
That's probably the
Fuck.
worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
All right. I'll
If
be
Tua throws for
serious.
50, I'll run to Chicago.
You literally
barefoot.
cannot say another
I'll run to
thing.
Chicago barefoot.
If what happens?
If
And you
Tua
got
throws
that
for
on-
50
And
touchdowns.
you got that on record.
Yeah, we do.
If,
So
if Tua throws for
Bare
50
feet.
touchdowns, I'll
Bare-
find a way to do like a double
Bare
backflip
feet.
on a skateboard or some shit, dude.
I will gladly. You can walk alongside me or drive alongside me. I'll do it.
That'd be funny as fuck if you were driving alongside him while he was walking to
That'd be
Chicago.
hilarious. I think I'll take you. on
But
that
it's
one.
like
Tua, you better not let us down.
never happening. So it's
But
I don't even
I-
have to worry about it.
I kind of want to do a double backflip now, so don't let me down. Like it's
Um,
locked in.
Or just like you wearing a Tua jersey for like a month straight.
Oh, I would totally make you do that.
Raw.
We could figure
You
something.
couldn't
out.
wash it though.
Yeah, that's part
This
of
is
the,
a
that-
crazy hypothetical
That's
though.
fine.
So
Yeah, I mean a hypothetical. I mean,
It's not that crazy.
it's pretty damn crazy.
This is pretty crazy.
Very.
All right. I have something that I wanted to talk about, and I might go on a little tangent here just for
Oh,
a
boy.
second. Just for a
a
second.
Connor
Let me
tangent.
Let me get right on it for it. All right. So I've been thinking about this for a long time now because I think it's something that really people aren't talking about enough. And I think they take the easy answer for this, but I think there's a lot more that goes on for this question. So my question is, who do you think the Packers wide receiver 1 will be by the end of the year? And I've got a couple things pulled up for it because you might think it's Alan Lazard. That's 2 shaking heads. I don't think the talent's there at all. And I mean, he's only been efficient being the wide receiver 2. And I think being a wide receiver 1 in the NFL, in this NFL with these corners, is going to be nearly impossible for Lazard to do based on his talent. Randall Cobb is 32. Sammy Watkins' last 3 years receiving was
This is
You don't
funny.
even have to talk
400
about him.
yards,
You don't have to
400
talk about
yards,
him.
600 yards. Sammy Watkins has never been
What
a
about
wide
the year
receiver
before
one.
that?
Talk about the biggest what if.
The biggest
of
what
them.
if, Christian Watson, who is
Are you
his,
talking about Timmy?
Or yeah, that's also a what if. But like,
I
No,
was
that,
just
that
talking-
combined
I was
well.
just talking Sammy
No, that
Watkins.
intertwined
That
well.
did
the
intertwine well.
biggest
I would
what
just
if.
like to say one thing.
But yeah, Christian Watson. I
Sammy
agree.
Watkins dropped 50 points in a fantasy game for me. So
You know, he is the best week 1 receiver of all time, and I will agree with that. But so I guess if you want to pick up Sammy Watkins week 1, I'd do it now before
Yeah,
before-
the week 1 goat.
before we get into the other receivers. But Christian Watson has been limited to walkthroughs and jogs in training camp. So he really has had little to no work with Rodgers. Amari Rodgers, other receiver, don't know much about him. And this is kind of what
I think we
alluding
all
to
have
the whole
the same
time.
answer.
Romeo Doubs has just been cooking people in preseason and for other teams. Like, this guy, I see the talent with him. Like, I just see it, that like his release package is awesome. And Rodgers came out and said, like, yeah, the rookie receivers aren't, doing what they need to do, because he holds them to a high standard. Nobody's going to be at where Rodgers wants them to be right away. But what he also said is that we're going to put the best players on the field. And I think Romeo Doubs is the best player in that Packers wide receiver room.
I'll go. Because I do have a bone to pick with this Packers wide receiver room. I really do have a bone to pick. It's just always like, oh, the Bears have the worst, and oh, this. Look at that room and tell me that excites you. Like, seriously, with a straight face, like, I always see, like, PFF tweets, oh, watch out for the Packers receiver room. What do I got?
I think it's because they have Rodgers.
Yeah, I understand that. But it's like, you gotta show me something first. Lazard, he's just been a wide receiver too that we've seen, and it's been kind of just like, oh, he makes a catch when
Lackluster.
Right.
A lackluster
like
wide
there.
receiver too.
Randall Cobb's 32. I don't expect much from him, and
I thought he was older,
Hold
to be
on,
honest.
He should be older.
Hold on though, because I gotta counter this. I've heard enough.
I'm not done though. I'm not done.
I have to counter this afterwards because I got something.
So, and then it gets to Christian Watson. I wasn't high on him coming into the draft. Sorry, no disrespect to FCS players or anything, but I'd rather take someone that's been on the big stage and is playing with the big boys. That's just how I work. And you're already hurt. You're kind of off on a slow foot here.
He had knee surgery.
You're losing traction, and it appears that it's Romeo Doubs. And as a gambling, we could say addict, I guess. But,
I thought we were gonna say as a gambling man, as a gambling addict.
Just going right over that.
It's nothing new here. You're gonna figure this out throughout the show, but I would watch Romeo Doubs and Carson Strong in Nevada late night games, and it's like you knew Romeo Doubs was on the field. He's always making a play. So yeah, Romeo, I think he's
playmaker.
He's a playmaker for sure.
Playmaker.
I know. Wait, and I know that might go off of like the big school thing that I said, but it's like there's certain guys that play at the division, like the.
Bro, that's you can't even put
You know
that
what I'm
into like
saying?
the big school.
Yeah.
When you said that, I thought you meant like Power 5.
But for
big
the most
player
part, Power 5
guys?
schools.
Like,
Like,
I want
people
like
coming out of
Power
Power 5
Power
will be-
5 mostly. Like,
Yeah,
I know
that's what I
there's,
thought you were
there's
saying.
some occasional that like trickle out of those Nevadas or whatever. Like we're talking about Romeo. So yeah, I mean he was always making a play. I think it is Romeo.
All right, hear me out, gang. Hear me out. Packers fans, I got your back. That's really weird to say, but Packers fans, I got your back. And here's why: because
The voice of reason.
I think that I'm gonna win you guys over with this one. I don't know about Tyler. I think Tyler's gonna remain passionately against this, but I think you guys will agree. Here's the issue: you're saying the Bears versus the Packers receiver room, right? And I'm gonna answer the question. I'm gonna answer the question at the end of this too.
But
So
wait,
I'm gonna
I'm not
kill two birds with one stone.
comparing them. I know the Bears isn't good, but it's just the thing that bothers me is like no one talks about it as not a great room.
But
When you-
but here's the thing.
You're saying the Packers receiver room should get more hate.
More hate
But
by
I think
how.
but I think
It's
the
not a
reason they
comparison
don't.
thing.
but
It's
here's
just
the
like they're
thing.
bad
I
too.
I
agree.
think they
with
have a
you.
lot. That's the reason I think they don't is because I think they have a lot of potential. Versus we look at the Bears receiver room and we basically know what we have minus Velus Jones, and that's I guess
Byron.
how I'm looking at it. I think I know. I think you guys know what you have with Byron too. I think you have like a wide receiver 3-4 who can get in on the slot and be semi-productive, but he'll drop some passes. I think we already know what you have in Byron. That's my thing is I think with Chris Watts here, we don't know. He could be explosive, and then Allen Lazard. This is my thing. I might be the 1% of people who's in this category, but I remember. Hear me out, guys. Devontae Adams' first 2 years, stone hands. Packers fans didn't like. Terrible pick. And out of nowhere he exploded. I think that it'd be foolish of me to doubt that that's a possibility for Allen Lazard. Like I think that he could explode this year.
Yeah.
I think he can fix the drop issues. He's
I don't
big.
think it's-
I think because now he'll be. I think that's the point too. I think that Romeo Doubs has the way higher ceiling, but it's for him to step in year one and have that same connection with Rodgers. But I think that's the thing is like he already has going to have somewhat of a, you know what I mean? Like I think the connections that go along with it. At the end of the next 4 or 5 years, it's easily going to be Doubs right now. But I just think this year I'm gonna stick with Lazard just for that reason.
I have a few things to say here. Because before, and I think I even said it on a video. I was so hyped about Allen Lazard. Like I thought everyone should draft him in like the 9th round of fantasy. As time's gone on, I've slowly come off that. I think Allen Lazard is still a decent wide receiver. Like he can make some plays. Like I'm telling you, watching him at Iowa State, like that man hooped on Iowa like for 4 years, damn near. I don't even know if he played 4 years, but he hooped on Iowa whenever they played against him.
Very good there.
And so I think he can make plays. Is he a wide receiver 1? Not really. I was really high on Christian Watson coming out of the draft too. I just like his speed. I think he can make plays after the catch if he gets the ball in space and whatnot. The knee surgery, he's not really going to be anything this year, I don't think. Romeo Doubs, I think that man can make a ton of plays. And that's probably who I would say. But I'm going to change your question, Connor, on you. Do the Packers have a wide receiver 1? No.
Whoa.
Do they?
No.
They're wide
At least
receiver
the Bears
1.
have a wide receiver 1. Yeah, I mean, at least I'll give you guys that.
I
guess if you guys do it, maybe the Bears don't.
I look at things in terms of like, do you really have a top, I guess, not even 32, but like maybe more so fantasy where it's like, if you're in a 12-man league, do you have a top 12 wide receiver or something like that along the lines? Maybe even for the NFL, top 20 wide receiver where he's like truly a spectacular talent. They don't have anything close to that.
I think the best receiver is Tunyon. To be completely honest,
and he might ball
be
this
the
year.
best receiver
It's
on the team.
probably right.
And
That it's like
You're not wrong.
And
I
what
don't
is he
think-
going to
the
really be
previous
doing?
injury
I don't think
scares
you're
you, but
wrong.
I think
No.
I
don't
love
think you're
Tunyon.
wrong.
So
I mean, like for the most part, what is Tunyon really going to do for you? Like,
Yeah. I mean, they don't have a wide receiver 1 until they prove it.
no.
I just don't think they do at all. And maybe like Romeo Doubs, like we've seen
Does
the
come
talent,
on, yeah.
and maybe he is like the next Devontae Adams. But as of right now, I'd say they don't.
Do you think that that's their Achilles heel this year? Because I feel like the Packers always have had one. It's been Kevin King in the years past.
It's also
their
been
Achilles-
special teams last year.
Special teams.
That always
their
made me laugh.
Achilles heel this year might be that they don't have a true receiver.
And I hope it is.
AJ Dillon just goes off instead.
Aaron Jones might be their best receiver. No cap.
Oh,
yeah,
no
no cap. Aaron Jones is the best
How did
receiver.
we make
in
it
the
through that
Packers.
entire question and not bring up Aaron Jones?
You're right. He might
Not
be.
even like as being a receiver, but just as a weapon on their
Now Robert
offense.
Tunyon, wide receiver 1. That actually is hilarious.
That's the thing, though. Like, because they have such great running backs, like the fact of the matter is they're gonna have to either run a million screens. Because if you're handing the ball off every other play, you're taking the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. So you're doing something wrong.
True.
You can't run the ball 40 times and just have Rodgers throw 20 passes. He'll probably be 18 for 20. But like, is that going to win you?
20 for 20?
Is that going to win you a
That's
game
very
against the
true.
Bills or the
No.
Bucks?
He won't go 20 for 20. He throws the ball away when he's out of the
Oh,
'cause
facts.
He's smart.
Smart guy.
Yeah, smart. But
Okay.
throw the
Smart
ball,
guy.
They're
Throw
gonna
the
have
ball
to
and play.
freaking screen it to Dylan
Throw
and
the ball and play.
He's so
Jones every
enlightened
time.
now. I wonder if that's going to have an impact on his play.
yeah, wait,
Ayahuasca.
he's just so enlightened he turns Lazard to wide receiver 1.
I don't think
Possibilities.
He's that, I don't think he's that
He
enlightened.
took
He's gonna need
Lazard
some-
on
I'm not sure if
a
he's
trip
that
with
know,
him
bro.
to elevate him to wide receiver 1
This
status.
man
You
did a
never know.
podcast with Big Cat. And Big Cat was
willingly went on.
Big Cat was clowning him, and
Yeah,
he
he
didn't
was.
get like he was probably very upset, but he was like just chilling.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, he handled it extremely well.
Like, Big
for
Cat was
getting
like-
for getting shit on for mostly the whole entire podcast, he handled it extremely
Big Cat
well.
was like low key like saying some like bogus things.
Yeah, it-
I didn't
it
listen to the
was-
I didn't see some clips. Now you're making me want to go listen. I
You
think I'll
gotta
have
listen
go
to
give
it. It's awesome. It's one of the cooler interviews or podcasts. Or
I'm just surprised he
interviews
went
or
on.
something. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm
that is
saying.
also true,
Like,
yeah.
Not in a
Facts.
million years what I thought Big Cat would be interviewing.
So
Aaron
basically, Aaron
Rodgers.
Rodgers enlightened turns Alan Lazard enlightened with him, and that's what I'm sticking with.
You know
Y'all are
what?
sleeping.
It
That's
might
the
be,
vision.
It might just be a little bit of a personal, like a public eye reboot for him because he was anti-vax. That took him down a little bit, so now he needs to
No,
be
he's like still very
I think
much
he
on
was,
that way.
Honestly, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah, yeah.
I think
But, like,
he was.
it's not
I think
so
even
much-
before that, his whole persona has always been like, yeah, like that's Aaron Rodgers, and it was before it was like, yeah, he's just like there was like everyone be like kind of like douchebag Rodgers,
egotistic.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then that's bro. I feel like we were talking about this like 2 years ago. I was like, I don't know, something's just changing the man. Like there's the press conferences, the sidelines where they interview him. I was like, something's just changed. I don't know. He's just a lot different now.
He was different as soon as he started hanging out with Miles Teller in the deep. I'll tell you that.
That's
he
facts.
he just changed. He did. And I do think it's for the better. I think he seems a lot more loose, happy. I'm happy for him. Shout out Aaron Rodgers, man.
Yeah.
Just get Alan Lazard in on it and
I'm all
make
right.
my take come true.
He doesn't have to be happy. He's made me far too unhappy throughout my life for him to be happy any longer.
Oh, I was gonna say this, and then but you have to get Romeo Dobbs jersey, but customize it so it actually says your spelling of Dobbs.
No, I was gonna say
And
what
that would
like
be fire.
I think like
It would be fire if it was like a different color scheme. Because I don't think like Packers jerseys are like that cool. Like, what if he was like on the Niners? That's a cool color
That's a
scheme.
cool jersey.
Do you like the Niners?
Just the jerseys. Like the Panthers got cool jerseys, you know what I mean?
Panthers jerseys
like,
are
I
raw.
feel like it's
Panthers
just like,
jerseys underrated.
Yeah, very.
Yeah,
Very underrated.
Panthers
Maybe
have
the black one?
Panthers have a lot of good
Ooh.
uniforms. I think we
Black
I
helmet?
think we got to link up with Romeo Dobbs ASAP. Just let him know the vision.
Yeah.
We just
Oh,
gotta
man.
Romeo Dobbs. We'll see you soon.
Dobbs, you got anything for us?
So I was gonna say let's close out with because I feel like because obviously we're getting down to the end here. I was thinking because I don't know how we even talked about this yet. So the John Gruden and Tom Brady thing, you know, where Dana White, did you see where like that whole
Yeah,
thing?
that was wild, bro.
Okay, so first
They
of
kinda
all,
just said
I feel like
that.
that was one of those things where like I don't think that was ever supposed to come out publicly, but like he just was like, well, fuck it, it's gonna come out. Like tonight's the night, everyone's gonna find out. He was feeling it. I don't know whether he was liquored. I don't know what the move was, but he just decided to spill the beans on everybody out of nowhere. But yeah, and if you didn't know, which if you didn't, I'm surprised. But yeah, basically, Dana White came out on when they were doing the broadcast for the most recent UFC and said, Tom Brady, I guess I don't know this part of it. This is what I'm not understanding. He's like, I organized the deal. Yeah, I had the deal set up. I don't know.
That's the part that I don't
apparently
get
Dana
either.
White has the fucking. I don't know. He's like the Raiders' side GM. I don't know. But he was saying, I got the deal cooked up. I'm not lying. Go look it up. I had the deal cooked up. He's getting Brady and Gronk. It's a dual package somehow. I don't know. He's the fucking side GM. And he's going to have them come to Las Vegas. And they'll come play for the Raiders in their inaugural season. But somehow, John Gruden just wasn't feeling it at the last minute and just copped out the deal. So either Dana White's fucking full of shit, which I don't think is true because this is the problem. This is way too crazy and public of a story to be full of shit about. So I think what the point is here is, John Gruden, what the fuck is wrong with you? If this, like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, if this is true, his ego at the moment this happened was just through the roof. And honestly, it makes plenty of sense that the Raiders went downhill away at this point. Like that fucking coaching staff, like because this dude, if that's real, there's just no words for the level of incompetency that if that's actually real. I'm sorry, there's just not.
I feel like this is something that we might agree on, all four of us. Do you ever feel like John Gruden was like, no, I want to do it my way?
Yeah.
Like,
I think
'cause,
a lot
like,
of
I feel
people
like
have that approach. And
That's
that's
a
the problem.
handout. I feel like that's a handout, and he'd have
That
been.
is a
And I
handout.
feel like he'd have been like, that's what I think he
It's
said.
not a
was like,
handout. That's an asset in a football.
well,
like this,
no,
they're
no,
trying
no.
to win.
Well,
the
think-
the
you have
football
to-
players are an asset to
He's
win
just
the
too-
game.
No,
You have to-
hitting.
But that's the point.
But-
He put his ego in front of the winning the games.
Yeah,
that's why I'm
That's what we're
saying.
saying. That's what we're
he's
saying.
saying.
Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
That's where he
Is
fucked up. That's
why?
like,
That's why that's messed up because I feel like he put himself forward. And was
I'm
like, no,
heated for
I can
Raiders
do
fans.
this for myself. Like
You
I
are
can
very
do,
heated.
I'm heated
I
for
can-
that. This is
you know?
inexcusable. If this is true, it's absolutely inexcusable.
I just feel that way. I don't know.
I'm
I
coming
feel
in
like
from a
that's like
selfish angle where, you know, Gruden made me miss out on Mahomes and Brady playing each other twice a year and Brady and Herbert playing each other twice a year. And now Brady
that's
and
crazy.
Ross playing each other twice a year.
Whoa.
That's why I'm mad
Whoa.
personally, but
I
I
didn't
didn't think.
about
I really
that.
didn't even
I
think
didn't
about
think
that
about
till
that either.
now.
So, but then that brings me another question. So, like, I personally think that all the AFC West games should be nationally televised throughout the whole season. I don't care what.
this year,
It should be, yes.
yeah, I
Every
agree.
last one of the games.
It's not even biased.
But it's like-
it's not. They do need to.
But
all
it's
be.
like, man, if that Brady, that's must watch.
Well, even now
every
you
day.
have like potentially 4 top 10, top 12 quarterbacks in
even
the same
right now, they
division.
need to be doing them.
Oh,
so
that's
imagine,
what I'm
imagine
saying.
if Brady was
I'm
there.
saying now.
This is also what I wanted to say. I don't. You guys probably don't watch the Shop LeBron show. You probably saw the clip though. But when that came out, it might be like a year and a half, 2 years ago. It was on Twitter. It was serving on Twitter. But he was on the Shop. It was LeBron's show, obviously, and he's like, "You're sticking with that fucker." I think he said motherfucker, but I
Yeah.
think he said
Yeah, no.
whatever. Derek Carr.
Oh, that had to have been the Derek Carr
It
one.
was.
You're
I thought there was about
right.
two.
And that's what breaks your. The one thing that breaks your heart
Or
about it
could-
is
or-
I
or-
thought that was about Tua.
Or it could be with Tua because he was talking
Also
with
tampering with
the when
Would Brady really
Yeah.
say that about Carr?
yeah. I think you guys.
That's a good point.
Brady's a really competitive guy.
That's a good point.
I don't
His
think he
feelings.
would. He
His
doesn't.
I think
feelings.
he would respect Carr
I
a
think
little
he
bit more
respects
than
Carr.
He's
Tua.
talking
Maybe,
like
but
no,
like-
he's such a competitor. He's
He's
such a
saying
competitor.
that-
I don't think I think
that's
he's looking
true.
at it in terms of
There's-
because he's looking at himself as a football player. He's
That's
like,
true.
He's a motherfucker as a football player right now. Like he's like, yeah, that motherfucker is not
I
as
guess
good
to
on the field as me.
Brady, it's like
Like, it's like
what
he's
is Carr?
not.
Because
Like-
Brady's 5-6 Super Bowls and Carr's nothing. So I guess in that regard,
Yeah, like he
maybe
respects him.
I just feel like you
He's
look
just
at
talking his
Carr and
shit.
you're like, all right, he's a respectable quarterback. Where Tua is like, you're really gonna choose Tua over me?
But
Like
that's
that motherfucker's a rookie.
But this
You know what I'm
happened. I
saying?
feel like this, to Tyler's point, this happened right around that same time that the Raiders thing would have happened. So like it's
It was
either
like so-
it's
it was
either
something
Tua,
like that,
it's
so.
either Tua or it has to be like it narrows it down to two nice guys. Either way, nice guy getting attacked by Tom Brady. There's no
That's
there's
true.
no nice way
That's
to slice
true.
it from.
I mean, there's more grain to the Dolphins story because they've already lost the
That's
first
true.
and third round pick.
Yeah.
Like this is just Dana White being drunk as fuck and like just
That
talking
is
about
true,
some
yeah.
random shit. But like this has actually been proven, and the Dolphins are paying for it. Like this happened. This happened.
This
Okay,
is
well,
just good
but-
discourse now because that's a great point, and that's getting brushed over so fast too. Like I don't like that got brushed over in like split second at this point by like the national, like the NFL like main outlets don't even talk about it for more than like a day.
Yeah.
Pretty big deal though.
I just think it's funny that Dana White's just like somehow involved in the Raiders, and I think it's just because he's a fan. I
No,
mean, at least I
like-
pulled up this article and it says White, who is a Raiders fan, confirmed the story.
I mean, he is probably in Vegas all the time too. That's
Yeah,
where a lot of
yeah,
fights
the
go
I get,
UFC
down.
like,
shit,
I
yeah.
get it. Like he has a higher profile and he has connections. There's no doubting that. I'm just saying like he was talking like he had the fucking. He's on the phone like he's ready to come sign the contract. Like I don't.
Some
that's what-
Jay
I'm just a
Glazer
little-
deal put.
I'm a
forward.
little-
Probably did. That's probably how it went
I'm
down.
a little bit confused how this is. Like, did he have Brady on the phone? He's like, yeah, he's going to sign the deal. And they're like, and then John is just right next to him, like, yeah, tell him it's off. The way he's laying it out here, I'm just a little bit confused.
Can you
know what I'm
imagine
saying?
John Gruden and Dana White just chilling in a room together,
That's like
talking
that's
about getting
weird.
Tom
the way they're
Brady?
explaining it. That's what I'm saying. It's like where's the pieces
Wait,
connect
what?
to? Like where did you talk
Honestly-
to him? Where did you find out that John didn't want Tom? Where did Tom find out about
Where
coming
the-
to the Raiders?
I didn't watch the clip, but because Gronk was there when he was talking about it, so I'd be curious to see Gronk's
Oh,
was
response.
on
Gronk
the
said
side of
something-
a fight.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like the.
Man, Gronk will tell the truth. We just need to ask Gronk straight
Well,
up.
he was
Man,
there
he
when they were
said-
talking about it.
Did he
he
comment?
said something.
I don't know. I didn't
It
watch
was
it.
something towards the end of it, like the clip I saw. He said something kind of controversial.
Something
I
weird.
just- yeah, it was kind of weird.
Anybody
Okay.
see the clip of Gronk playing basketball today?
No.
No, how legendary was
Stop.
it?
He just freaking bodied. I don't remember the dude.
It's
or who
probably
was
got to
fighting.
be maybe the most unathletic looking thing. To
No,
see.
Gronk
was
looked
it cool?
nice.
He would look like a power forward.
He
No,
looked.
he would
alright,
actually look like a
straight
damn
up,
power forward.
Top
out
of the
there.
key. Top of the key. All right, backed him down. Little spin move. Little pump. Go up. Put the bucket in. I mean, it didn't look pretty. It didn't
Yeah.
look pretty
Just
for anymore. But you could tell, like,
A little
all right,
Karl Malone fundamentals.
he's had some basketball experience. That's 100% positive. So like
Facts.
when he put it up, I'm like, damn, that looked nicer than I thought it was gonna look
He
like.
brought the Hakeem Olajuwon to the street court.
and he made it too.
That is
He was sick. He said and one afterwards.
I'm going to look this clip up
Oh.
almost immediately.
I'm trying
it
to
was
find
fire.
it right
That's
now.
kind of diffy,
It
huh?
was fucking-
Kind of diffy. Rob Gronkowski's own moveset in hoops too. He's just get it in 2K immediately.
I mean, I
We
feel
need-
like he's just
we
an
need-
athlete.
Combine it, just get it in.
just
I
a
would have
different
said the same
different
thing as
breed.
you, though. I would have thought he would be like the stereotypical football player playing basketball, shit.
Because I mean, if
I
you
would've
see,
expected
if you
that.
watch, if you watch Gronk,
He's
run
tall
in
enough though that I
pads-
think he passes that like threshold.
If
Yeah.
you watch Gronk
Usually
in
those dudes
pads,
are
you're
small.
like,
Yeah, like those
him
are the
running,
small. Those are the
it's
fullbacks.
kind of looks weird.
Yeah. I mean, he's just stiff. Like
He's just a big boy. That's all it is.
He's got the stiff big boy like shot, but I mean,
Yeah.
it looked better than what I thought it was gonna be.
Facts.
Stiff big boy shot can be productive. We've seen it. You just
Absolutely.
It's about the person shooting.
That actually looks like what it was.
Jokic, stiff big boy shot, productive.
here?
You know, hey, we've seen it.
Oh man, is he really gonna cook him up?
No, this is just him shooting half court.
No, that's not
Oh.
it. That's not it.
Well, you just got me hyped for nothing.
Sorry, it's my fault.
It's like secret
We're
clip that he
pretty,
pulled up. We're gonna have to find this now after we're done. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like secret news now.
You want to take us out?
Yeah, sure. Thank you everybody for watching, coming at it every week from now on. A lot more content coming your way. Can't get more excited for the start of NFL. We're going to be picking the games, doing betting lines and all that good stuff. And you know what? You're going to hear the first initial reaction take to every Sunday game, to every week. And we're going to be the best at it.
He's not
I
lying.
fuck with that.
If you think he's lying, you probably just didn't know ball.
I respect.
You
it.
don't know
But
ball.
you could learn ball from hitting follow.
I think next
And
outro I'll
subscribe.
have it a little bit more.
And anything else along those lines. Just start learning ball now. Click subscribe, click like, follow, all that.
Subscribe.
on all the socials too.
Yeah, all the socials, just all of them.